Hey, hey. We're
We in
live.
there?
We in this.
A mic checker.
We are
We in
live.
there?
So let's double check our
All right,
socials.
let's tap in. Let's tap in. Let's tap in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. Let me go to the book of face.
Mm.
Let me go to the book of face.
I'm trying to go there too.
Just to see. You gotta see when in there. Let's see. Let's see.
I think I'm
YouTube checking in.
all right, YouTube.
Facebook look good.
Let me refresh this one. All right, we definitely live
Good
on
on Facebook. YouTube letting us know we in there.
All right, YouTube.
Hey, Crystal. Let's go.
I definitely see us on Facebook.
How your vibes flowing today?
Girl.
How your vibes flowing today?
Feels good still. Let me we're a little bit late on. Oh, I can see the preview
Preview on who?
on Instagram. Okay, my lighting's a little weird though.
Did you hit go live?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hit it in Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. My lighting's a little weird, but it's okay.
How my lighting look?
Hey, you looking good.
It's
looks
hitting?
Good. Oh wait,
Look like you. Ooh, you
it
on
does
there?
look, ooh, it looks ooh. Okay.
Yep,
Okay,
you in
I
there.
got voices and vibes. Black print is live. Time for a check
Yep,
in.
I got you.
All right. Let's do the damn thing. Giovanni, it is another Thursday, a herbal Thursday. And this is the first time. Hi, Crystal. Hi, ladies. Let's say hi. But this is our first time live for me on Instagram. We've been doing these lives for how many weeks now, Giovanni?
Oh my goodness, we're gonna take it back like that?
I don't know. Why not? I mean, we're doing a check-in and we're just introducing the Black Print Instagram to the wellness talks, the herbal talks.
Okay.
I know your Instagram was on here last week. Wait, is your Instagram on here? No. But check us out. We are live on YouTube every Thursday for our wellness talk. My girl Giovanni and I out in Texas. How you
My
feel?
girl Shireen out there in Toronto. You got tea today or not?
Yeah, I don't have tea because I'm up in the studio about to get some work did.
Come on, studio owner.
Cheers to that. Cheers to another herbal Thursday where my herbs is coming from a bottle and it's aloe. All right, girl. You ready to do our check-in with our cards?
Check us all the way in.
All right, so we
check us in. I'm trying to look and see how long you said we've been doing this thing. We started in November.
We started in November?
We started in November.
Oh, we've been holding out on people. We've been doing this since November. Oh,
we started in November. You know what? I think it was Shireen. I want to say it was the 9th or the 16th
of November.
It was the 16th because then we came back. It was the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
No, because the 16th was on YouTube, so it had to have been the 9th.
Oh wait. Oh right, because we started on
the 9th because the first one was on Instagram only.
Right.
We did the 9th on Instagram, and then the 16th we did it live on YouTube, and then that Monday we came for our follow-up on the magnesium bath because the following Thursday was Thanksgiving, and so we went
in the U.S. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanksgiving in the
US, a long
time. I got you. Yeah, we did.
It honestly, it doesn't even feel that long. All right. Well, I got 2 cards that popped out.
Yo, it's the 11th.
I know.
Live on the 11th.
Shut up.
If I shut up, then we're not talking.
No. You know I don't mean that. Are you serious?
Yeah, I just counted. And I counted the Monday. Okay, you don't believe me? I believe you.
Let
me verify.
No. Yeah,
Let me
double check that.
let me
Double check
verify.
that. I think that's pretty. I was just saying to my daughter, like, tap into your, if you're into those things, tap into your synchronicity.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
That is some synchronicity right there. So my lighting's a little messed up, but I find that happens in not my light in my camera, but I find that happens with my Mac over my other computer. But anyhow, as you check us in on the 11th for the 11th live,
E.
because we're just cool like that. Well, we are cool like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I pulled out two cards that came out. I
Okay,
kept
you want to
shuffling
go?
as we were talking. I mean, we're doing a check-in. We're just checking in as the year started. Our last episode, I think it was, if it wasn't last week, it might have been the week before, how not to like what was that episode I just looked at? We did an episode about New Year start. I think it was before the New Year, and how not to like have anxiety and things like that. Right. So this one's a little bit different. We're just checking in with each other. Right. We have not spoke a lot this week, and we typically message each other numerous times throughout the day. So I have no idea how you're doing. How are you first? Before I get in the cards, how are you, Giovanni?
I am well. I've been very, very productive when it comes to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to business and entrepreneur life, I've been really trying to iron out the clarity so I can really get focused on being intentional and then setting up a plan so I can be consistent because I really want this to be a very good, productive year.
Yeah.
And I think the only way that I'm going to be able to see growth and progress is through consistency. But I need that plan in place so I can show up and be consistent. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I know it's going to be unfamiliar territory because I've never done it before, but I'm loving the vibes that I'm receiving that have been very supportive, as well as the creativity that's coming my way. So I'm excited about it. So overall, I'm doing well. I have been balancing my sleep, doing a better job with getting in and getting my rest. So balance has definitely been there. And if I feel like I did a lot with work, then it's just probably conversations about the business life. And then it's woosah, hit the ashwagandha and relax.
Yeah, no, that's good.
How
And
about you? How you been feeling?
you know what? I have a lot going on and I'm trying to balance that out. Surprisingly, I'm feeling good. This week I was productive. I am reading in my coaching group. We are reading. They have us aggressively reading. Excuse me, sorry. And I'm reading this book and it's all about how we work and how we organize ourselves. And so I'm just trying to get it together. And the book I'm reading, just in case anyone's interested in looking it up for themselves, is 12-week year. I want to make sure I say that right. Oh, it's underneath here. It's underneath my
The
computer.
12-week year.
Yeah, girl. Hold on. My computer went down because my book came out. Yes, the 12-week year. That's the workbook. But it is really about how you work and just being productive and, as you said, consistent. And I don't always show up consistently, especially on social media. um I got my job, I got my goals, and I got life, right, just like everybody else. So but I'm feeling good. I got a bit of clarity as well this week. I had a couple of decisions that I was literally pondering all of last week, that was literally taking up my mind space. And I was able to make some decisions. And so now I just need to finish them out, which is awesome because really I'm just trying to launch the space. And one of the goals is really just to like get the rooms to like 90%. Right. And so there was
That's
this
a good percentage to get them at.
yeah,
That's pretty high. Pretty high.
yeah, pretty aggressive for real. But there was decisions that had to be made because I feel like sometimes you rush and you make a decision, you rush and you maybe you're a bit hasty, and then you kind of start regretting those things. So I've taken time to think, And sometimes you need to be still when you need to do those things. So I feel good that I got those clarities. And I think we have a name, which we won't share yet, but I'm loving it. Um, and I know I shared it with you offline, but I feel good because that was like the one thing I just couldn't think of. So I feel good. I feel good. And it feels like a Friday. Like we should not be having day jobs
It
tomorrow.
is. It's a Friday Eve. There's no.
Mm,
It's a Friday Eve. I
yeah.
got you.
All right. So let's get into these cards.
Oh, you got some love in the chat.
Yeah.
Got some
Yeah.
love in the chat.
Crystal. Okay. So this one. Hey, Nat. Good evening,
What's
hon.
up, Nat Nat? Good
This is
evening to you.
this is the card that came through, and I love it because you know that we just talked about synchronicities, and this card just came through, and it's something that we definitely have to answer
Okay.
as we check in
Okay.
at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of my 12 work week. What one thing you would like to commit to this year? So you can kind of ponder that for a minute. And if anybody's in any of the audiences, I forgot. So I guess should I be looking at Instagram as well?
I would say networking. I'm gonna go with
Greetings.
networking. Ooh, I love that, Crystal. I'm gonna say networking. I'm
Networking.
gonna say
Okay.
networking. Yeah.
Okay. And we do
Um,
have some people
I
on.
feel like in I have my 6th and 7th grade students working on vision boards
Mhm.
um this week, and since we came back, and they had to figure out what their one word was for 2024. And I didn't do my vision board this year, but what I did was I gave them an example of mine that was 3 years ago. So it was like 2021, my vision board from 2021, and my one word was self exploration.
Ooh.
And that's what came to mind when Crystal said myself. And it was like, I just wanted to explore who I was, like just really get into figuring myself out, who I am, what I like, what I love, and then embracing all of that.
Right.
And as I was going over it and I told him what my one word was, I was like, oh my goodness, this was 3 years ago. Like now I'm embracing exactly who I am, loving myself, but now I'm doing it on a public forum where I'm showing up weekly, being live and just being my authentic self and doing it however, like even with, and I think we talked about it, even with solo episodes, when it comes to doing our own podcast, like
Yeah.
that has always given me anxiety. Like I just love talking to people. But when you sit there and you just have to talk and just give a message, it is so different. It's so awkward. And I'm starting to embrace that too. So it's like once you really spend that time with yourself, you're able to start really loving yourself, giving yourself that grace, but then you start building that on your own confidence just be you, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it comes across, you're all right with it. And I think that's just, I've been able to see that growth for the past 3 years, and to be able to see what I was looking like in 2021 to where I am now, just like mindset wise, it's just like, hey, come through with it. Like you really have tapped into yourself. Even with healthy boundaries, that was something 3 years ago I struggled with. And I feel like my boundary setting has tremendously grown. And I think that all comes with being intentional about wellness and prioritizing that. So what do you think you're going to commit to?
First of all, I love that for you, Giovanni. One of the books I was recently reading had said, like, you can make commitments to other people, but really, when you commit to yourself, you hold yourself to like a higher standard. So it does always start with self before you can even commit to other people. And that has been stuck in my head since I read that piece, like that message. So I love that you can recognize your own growth based off your own commitments. You know what? I'm leaning into. I think I'm gonna lean into my creativity this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean into it so deep. I'm gonna be on a straight lean all 2024. I'm gonna be on a straight lean.
Lean on in
I'm
there,
gonna lean
Shireen.
into that bitch like nobody's business. And I can give you an example this week, and even just like within this space. But like I'm going to give like the simplest example. I had the bathroom painted in white because it's a really small bathroom. And I'm like, white, they say if you want it to look bigger, make it white and put mirrors and all this ish. And I'm like, it's just so plain. And that's just not a good representation of me and what I want. And I started doing a little bit of research into something that was like lingering in the back of my head. And I leaned into it so deep. And the part about it is every time I say it to someone, they're like, why would you want to do that? That's going to make it look a certain girl. I did it. And it looks fucking bomb. Oh, excuse my French. It looks bomb. So it made me think to myself, I'm creating a creative space, but hesitating on myself and my own creativity. And that's not me. Right. And I have had some clarity, as I mentioned this week, on things that I want to do. I'm going to lean so deep into that. I don't know if I'm leaning this way. I don't know if I'm leaning this way. I don't know which way. I'm not going to put no restrictions on myself. I'm going to just lean into this creativity and let everything that's flowing to me come out.
Come on, let's cheers to Shireen with the lean.
I'm going to lean back as I cheers. Yeah, girl.
I like it. Lean with it.
Yeah, lean into it, right?
Always. I love that though.
We had a talk forever ago, and you had said, lean into the uncomfortable. You had said, and I know there's a clip out there on YouTube somewhere that says it. So I would encourage everyone as they think about their word, because I didn't set a word. Wait, did you actually set a word for this year? I always do, but I forgot to.
I don't think I did. Mm-hmm. I feel like I thought of one, but I don't feel like I did. But then I think I did. I feel like I did because I did it at work on the spot, and it just really resonated then.
And do you remember it?
It might have been consistency, or it could have just been progression.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I forgot what it was.
I mean, you can always change things. That's the best thing about this, right?
Of course, because you change every day.
You're not the same
every
person.
day is a new experience. Yeah. And experiences shape who you are. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. So what you go through today is definitely probably going to shape how you look at things, view things, and show up tomorrow. So yeah, it could definitely change. But I didn't. I don't think I committed to a one word for the year, but I like that check-in. That was good. That was really good. Nat, don't forget to tap in and let us know.
Absolutely.
Let us know about you for your year. Thank you, Crystal, for sharing. I loved yours too, Shireen.
There's some people also on Instagram, and I didn't check Facebook. I think I closed Facebook. So I don't know if your Facebook is giving you any feedback on that side as well, if you want to tap in with those folks. But I have heard that some people are already starting to feel some of the pressure of the new year, right? And so we kind of talked about like how not to like take in that anxiety. But if you are feeling that pressure, I mean, what's a good way to kind of release that and just remember you kind of control your destiny, right?
Yeah. I think what stood out most to me based on that episode that we were talking about managing New Year anxiety was really that schedule grace that you brought up. And I think it just goes right back to it. Wherever that pressure is coming from. And I think Crystal might have said it too. It was those expectations that people have for either themselves or that other people have for them that creates that type of pressure or anxiety. And the goal is to remember that you're not perfect and that you're just working on being a better version of yourself, one decision at a time, one choice at a time. So I would just remind those who are feeling that pressure to just give yourself grace, and it's going to happen whenever it's going to happen. And so timing is everything. So trust the process. And I think we talked about that too, trusting the process. So just trust the process. Know you are who you're supposed to be right now, and that what's going to happen is going to happen. So
Absolutely.
give yourself that grace.
Thanks for reminding me about that conversation, because we did actually talk about scheduling that grace. And when we started texting each other, right? We talk about synchronicities. Well, when we started texting each other today, like, what are we talking about on the live tonight? And really just like how the week is going, even if you're productive on one thing, one day. What we talked about is that, I think that was Sunday actually when we spoke about it, when we talked about time blocking.
Sunday, yep, it was Sunday.
Yeah, and the benefits of time blocking, and how that might actually help reduce some of that anxiety or that stress for the things that you're working towards, right? In my day job, I think we kind of more look at it as a work back schedule or time management to a degree, right? But it's not just time management. It is time management, but it's like specifically outlining all of the details that you need to do to get to your goal, right? But if you do it backwards, so if your goal is the end of February and you do it backwards, then you really go through the thinking process of like, what do I got to get out there? What do I need to do? And how am I going to get it done? Right? Have you been doing any, have you done time blocking before, Giovanni?
I have never experienced time blocking. So what I was expecting to do this week, which I know we're still going to get to it, is really setting up some of the things that I want to accomplish and really starting to get more organized with realizing what it is that I want to get done, when I want to get it done, how to get it done, because there's so many different things I want to be able to dive into and really start getting into so I can build that consistency. But it's having that plan. And I think that's something that we talked about before. If you don't create a plan, then you're really planning to fail. So when you're intentional about setting up a plan, you have more opportunities to be successful in actually accomplishing the things that you want to, because you're intentional about making the time to do those things and how you're going to do it. And I know we talked about that on another live when we talked about like goal setting, even when we're talking about like meal planning and meal prep. But something that you said earlier about productivity and doing it in ways like you have a really high productivity day and then maybe the next day you kind of calm it down. I think the biggest thing is finding peace in productivity. And so having those moments of peace and stillness and even mindfulness to say, okay, I just don't want my brain to overload right now. I want to give it a rest. Let me do something that doesn't require as much thinking power, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's important for people to realize too, because you can't overwork yourself. And when you overwork yourself in your thought process, then you start lacking the creativity
Yeah.
that you really want to have. So
Yeah, I think that prioritizing the things that you need to do will be key, because something's got to give, right? You can't possibly do everything all at once. So you need to prioritize. But when you talked about leaning into the uncomfortableness, another thing that one of the books that I'm reading had talked about is really prioritizing and leaning into the most difficult things that you need to work on, right? So the things that you would intentionally avoid or procrastinate with, if you can kind of start attacking those things first and understanding it a bit better, then you're more likely to be successful. And when you prioritize things that are the most impactful to your goals, right? So what's going to give you the best bang for your buck, kind of thing, right? I don't even know. I don't know where that saying came from, so I should probably not say something. I don't know where it came from. So, what is going to give you the best return on your personal investment with your time, if I can rephrase it, right? So, even if it's uncomfortable, which is not always easy to do, right? And you can be in work settings and things like that, and you prioritize things there. We teach to prioritize, but then when it comes to ourselves, um, I can only speak on my behalf. I know what my procrastination looks like and what it feels like, right? I could only own my own ish. And so sometimes it's intentional, but if I set that grace time, then I can set time to intentionally try to work through the most impactful tasks that will get me closer to my goals.
I'm with you all the way on that. I think for me, And Nat, I see what you said in the chat, and it's being intentional with your time management. I am all the way there. That's what I was telling Shireen on Sunday, and when she was talking about like time blocking and putting it on a calendar, I was just like, whoa. And I was telling someone else, I'm so glad I have a CRM and within my business system. So once people apply to be on the podcast or they want to book a call for coaching, all they have to do is submit the form, book it, and it's on my calendar. And so my calendar is just reminding me I got a meeting. I don't have to do anything because all of the system is already setting me up for organization. I was like, why can't my whole life just be a reminder telling me what I need to do, when I need to do? And I was like, oh, I have to be intentional about putting those things on the calendar and time blocking it so I get it done. So I'm with you all the way, Nat. Like who we are in January 2024, I want us to be like stellar with time management by the time we come back in here in November. Nat, let's hold each other accountable for that. But I'm all with it, Shireen, with organization, time blocking, setting the schedule. And it sounds like it's a lot of work, but I feel like what I'm doing now, which is just saying, okay, sometimes some days I make a list of what I want to get accomplished in that day, and sometimes I don't. So when I'm in a moment where I'm like, ooh, what should I be doing? Then I start doing something else. It's just like freestyling. Productivity is only going to take you but so far. And that's when you're going to start feeling that pressure, start feeling that anxiety, or start saying, you know what? I started my podcast. My first episode came out, September or October, and I have yet to be running clips. How's anybody going to know about my podcast if I don't get intentional about really getting clips out there so they can see that short form of content to even know I have a podcast? So it's like, if you're not doing what you need to be doing to be intentional about showing up for yourself and making the time for the things that is a priority, you're going to continue to hold yourself back. You won't get to where it is that you want to go because you're not doing what you need to do to get there. So that was my thing. Like on Sunday, it was like, I got to get with it. I got to get with it, and I just need to do it, because talking about it and thinking about it is not going to get it done unless I put it on a calendar, time block it out, and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get it done, and I need to get it done. And I think the biggest thing you said, Shireen, was coming back and assessing it. Did you finish the task that you said you were going to do? Did it take the time that you said, or did you need a lot more time for it? I think the assessing the productivity of what you put in place the week prior was like clutch when you said that on Sunday. And I was like, oh, snap. It's one thing to time block, put it on a calendar and say you're going to do it, but then you got to come back and grade yourself, take an assessment on whether or not that was on. That's the key right there.
That is it. When you say assess, you just said it right there. Not just assess, but give yourself that score, right? So if you're looking at, you look at analytics for every other thing that you do, but give yourself that score for your productivity and then own it, whether or not you sat on the sofa too long, spent too much time scrolling through either any one of your social medias. For me, I have a guilty pleasure when it comes to like watching a specific show. So Power comes on, new episode comes on tomorrow night. I don't just watch Power. I watch like the movie bots and breakdowns of things, right? So I want to know what all these criminals are thinking, right? So like really just kind of holding yourself accountable, but you're right, like scoring it. Before you mentioned that, Giovanni, I was going to say, I think a couple of things. I live by my calendar. If things are not in the calendar, most likely it's not going to happen, just because there's so much going on that I'll probably forget. So if you ever on a call with me or speaking to me and I'm like, well, let me just send you an invite. Believe me, it is so that I can remember what the heck we're talking about. I won't remember, right? But I think what we have done really well, Giovanni, since we've met is we have a support system, and it's a small support system. So I think that's really what has helped us to be progressive within a very short period of time. So yes, and that's in a calendar as well. That is in our calendar. So I would, encourage people to look for that one or two friends or business partner or like-minded individual that you feel comfortable speaking to, and engage in how do we support each other so that we can be consistent, so that we can meet our goals. But the next thing is to leverage the right tools. And even if you got to try, how many tools did we try? Even if you got to try a bunch of tools to see what's going to make things a little easier for you. We have tried multiple AIs, right? Yeah, crash and burn. That's right, Nat. You will crash and burn if you try to do it all yourself and manually. Forget that shit. It's just not even feasible. So I'm at the point where like it's not even feasible. We'll just stop it there. Well, it's not even feasible. So even if you got to try it out and give yourself that grace while you try it out to see what you like from what you don't like, what's working from what's not working, and lean into the AIs, lean into them. And if you don't know how to use them, ask somebody else. One of your friends are using them, or,
I,
or, or reach in, tap into someone's DM. We're using them. And maybe we're not using them enough because we've
and
talked about
that's what we're working on
actually, let's just say
as
that.
an accountability group. We're definitely working on increasing the AI in our business to be able to, like you said, lean into those tools. That's your thing, Shireen. All 2024 leaning in. So leaning into the tools. But something you said about support system was key. You said we have a very small support system, and sometimes it takes a small support system to do massive amount of growth, intentional work that's going to help you really grow in so many different ways. And I think you hit it when you say like-minded individuals. But a big thing for me is when your support system truly believes in you and what you have to offer, as well as the value that you provide. Because at the end of the day, not everybody is out here trying to be viral or be the next biggest influencer. They're just being themselves, and they have something to offer, and it's something that the people want or need, or they're learning from or growing from. So I think that's the big thing when it comes to your support system, is that one, they believe in you, and two, they believe in the value that you're bringing and you're valuable to them. And I think that's what makes a great support system amazing in a business. So I just wanted to say that because you hit it on support system, but I just wanted to add those other two components to what you just said, because you're right. We have an amazing support system, and I wouldn't be where I am today without that support system. And entrepreneurship is not an easy journey to navigate, because sometimes when you look around, you're a person of one. So being able to have friends and family and having that support system that believes in you, loves you, values you, to kind of be that listening board, that ear, that person to help those people, to help with creativity, to help you get out of overthinking when you're an overthinker, to help keep it simple, sis. So you can keep progressing and moving
Release that
forward.
yet until we put it on a podcast.
I'm just saying, when they say keep it simple, sis, and keep going, it's so much easier to continue to move forward. No pun to the four vibrations, but it allows you to continue to keep moving forward. And as you move forward, you're progressing. If not, if you're a solo, you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a support system, you really need to tap in and find a good network. Even if it's just one or two people, you need to be able to have somebody to help you continue to move forward in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You don't have to take everything they say for face value and do what they say do, but just to be able to help you not get stuck so you keep going. Because too many entrepreneurs fail because they don't want to keep going. They aren't consistent, and they don't progress because they felt like all they had was themselves and that was all they needed, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. And I'd had something else and I just forgot it, but I actually have multiple small groups. Oh, I remember, I think one of the things I want to mention, I have multiple small groups that I'm in. I think I'm in two groups, and then I have like one or two individual people that we check in with each other over time. It's important to have the right group, but it's also important to leave a group if you realize that group is not there for right, if that group is not supporting you the way you need to be supported, even if they have reached levels and heights that you attain to reach, if that group is not the right, doesn't have the right mindset that you align with, dip, dip. Like, say what you need to say and get out. This is not the time to kind of sit there and soak it up and then second guess yourself. As you said, we have an amazing support system. We've done so much because of it. but every single person contributes. That part is key, that everybody brings something to the table. Everybody is looking forward to their own growth. But like, you know what, I heard something and you might need this and you might want this, or I read something, or here's a video, or here's the notes. You know, we contribute to each other, we pour into each other so much. So much so, all of our mindsets are like in great places. And even when we're not in the greatest place, we are very open and vulnerable with each other, and let each other know, like, I didn't have a great day, or you know what, I am stuck in my business, or I don't even feel like doing anything all week, and I just can't kick it. And that allows your group to kind of pour back into you. Well, let's talk about it. What kind of support do you need? Right? Sometimes it's just an ear, and sometimes it's more actionable, right?
That's
Giovanni, you
yeah.
started coaching, and I want to touch on finding the right coach. You started coaching, and coaches need to identify if they can work with someone, the right person, if them and that individual align. But for the longest time, I was looking for the right coach for me, right? And I'm not talking about branding coach or personal development coach. Like, I guess there's a little bit of everything. But I found the right coach for me this year. I believe I found the right coach for me. I'm so aligned with my coach. I love the messages that she gives. I love how she feeds into the group. Um, you started coaching. How are you feeling as a coach and finding alignment with your clients?
I have been loving the experience.
I love
Like
it.
I get excited. I don't know. You know how sometimes people get like geeked out, nerd out. You
Yeah.
see it. You know how I get when we talk healthy mindset or we talk mindful movement. Like that's my thing. You know, like I love certain things when it comes to health. So when I get pictures every day of their empowered plates, and their creativity, and when they're moving and they're grooving and they're being consistent, and then they're losing weight, or their family is helping them with certain meal options, or they're supporting them with things, or then they're saying, oh, this is good food that's good for you, can taste good too. It's just like you're seeing lifestyle changes. You're seeing families start to really wrap their mind around foods that are healing, but at the same time, still really good. And you're still getting that texture. You're still getting that flavor. So I am excited about being able to witness and be a part of people's journeys as they create healthy habits and lifestyle changes. So it has been very rewarding for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I hope that they are enjoying the experience as much as I have. I did check in this week to see what they enjoyed most about the program thus far. And one was the accountability when it comes to the movement. And the other one was just creative ideas when it comes to juicing, smoothies, and their meals. And I think it's key to have clients who you already know that they're aware that they need something that's changing, and they believe that you have the answer, and they want to invest in what it is that you have to offer to be able to get them through what it is that they want to get to. And knowing that it's a journey and not a destination, they know you're just one part of the the
Equation.
journey. Yeah, and they know it's not everything right there with you, but you're a good vibe, you know what I mean, to start with, that's empowering. So I absolutely love it. And I think because I vet my clients prior to better understand what it is that they need, what it is that they want, to make sure that that's what I have to offer, or that I can help them with and offer. I think that's what makes it a dynamic duo, with coaching and a client aspect to it. So I love it, Shireen, and I can't wait to get more clients. And I'm really excited to help more clients that are looking for healthy habits and lifestyle changes that suffer from endometriosis, adenomyosis, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, and fibroids, because that is what got me on my journey to making healthy habits and lifestyle changes to where I could live a more pain-free life, vibrant life, and just be excited about eating food that no longer makes my body feel bad. So that's what I think I'm most excited about. Those clients that I know that are coming soon. But I appreciate you asking that question. So I got a question for you.
Oh Lord, I'm afraid. Go, girl. Let me take a sip first. Let me take a sip. Actually, give me the question. I'll ponder my response as I take a sip. Go ahead.
How do you feel as
Mm.
a coach with your first
Ah,
coaching client?
girl.
Because it's not easy.
You're funny. Um, I haven't made a decision if that is Giovanni put me on the spot. And I was gonna apologize. I was gonna say, Giovanni, I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot. Giovanni put me on the spot. Um, I haven't made a decision as yet on the longevity of it, right? Everyone isn't for you, but you are for someone. Yeah, I haven't made a decision on the longevity as yet for myself, right? Um, I tend to offer help for free just because I might have experience in a certain area and it just turned into something else. And so I'm still assessing how I feel about it and where it fits within my lifestyle, right? Or where it fits within my priorities or where it fits within my goals. So it's still it's still loading. It's still loading. I helped and I'm helping you and I've helped my daughter and I helped, a couple other people with like some e-commerce and I still have to decide, is that something I want to become an offering? Is that something I um I'm liking enough to do or to help with or to be paid for, right? Does that align with my actual goals? I have a handful of things I'd like to get done this year. So where does that align? Does it align from a monetary standpoint as like a hustle, or does it align with just like a give back, or how does it align? And it's not a hustle because the intention was not about a monetary in the beginning. The intention was, hey, you know what? I know about this. I can help you with this. Or I know about, or this is how we do it in my corporate job. Let me help you. Um, so, still, it's still loading. I don't even think I'm processing that as yet because I'm still trying to process this. I'm still
Right.
trying to process building out a studio and all of that jazz and where that's going. So, or what I want that to look like. Mhm.
I just wanted to know how you felt. Like I think you, like you said, you helped me, you've helped your daughter, you helped other people, and you didn't really set out to be a coach. It was just your willingness to help guide and support and help provide clarity to keep someone kind of putting things together. And that's just your natural talent. I just wanted to know, how do you feel actually helping someone actually put a package together that felt confused and that you're just naturally kind of good at asking the right questions to help move them forward? Like, what was that feeling even like? Because it stumbled across you. It wasn't like you were branding yourself out there for it, like you had that offer out there. It was brand new. I just wanted to know, how did it feel actually helping someone totally different from what you're used to helping, that you've never done before? Like, what does that feel like for you?
Yeah. You know what? It's a learning process. So it feels good that I can help. It feels good that I can apply things that my, as I like to call them, my private investors pay for. We all got our private investors. So it feels good that I can help because I have an experience or have a skill or something like that.
That
So
was the vibe I was looking for, Shireen. That's what I wanted you to lean into. I wanted you to tell me about that. Tell me about that feeling. That's what it's all about.
mhm.
Because
I mean,
ultimately,
that's why I offered to begin with, right? Um, because I
you weren't
recognize
even thinking that.
not at all. I was just thinking, oh, you know what? If you do this and this, that might just help you a bit. So yeah, I'm always for the help. If I can help, then I don't mind. If I have the time, if I have the energy, because I'm not gonna. And if the person is willing, like I don't want to offer to help somebody and then they don't want to do the work, like then it's just not even worth my time, right?
And I fully agree with that. And that's a big thing when it comes to coaches and coaching. You don't want a client that's not going to get the results or not willing to put in the work, because now they're going to make you look bad. Like your program or your skill set isn't efficient because you didn't want to put in the work and show up and do what it is that you needed to do to be able to get the result or the outcome that you wanted. And so that's why it's always key to make sure you're in a good alignment and it's someone that you could work with that really wants what they say they want. Because if not, people will throw money away and people say they want your help. And most of the time, they just want you to do a whole bunch for them and them not do it, them have nothing to do, not really want to do anything at all when it comes to it. So I'm glad that you feel good being able to help someone, because that's what it all boils down to. When you are a genuine, authentic coach, you really just want to help people, and you want to be able to see them get the results that they're looking for. But you feel confident in helping them because you've done it yourself, or you know what it is to get them to where it is. And it's not going to always be a one size fits all approach, but you know how to navigate that and provide options and skill sets. But you also know how to go out there and continue to get that personal and professional development so you can continue to show up for other people so they can be able to get the outcome that they have. So I think that's what I love most about coaching, is that when something's not working, you have that versatility, to still get out there, and you have that passion and that drive. Like you said before, you have to be passionate about what it is that you're out there doing, because if not, it's going to start feeling like work. It's going to start being draining, and you're not going to be enthusiastic about really showing up with the right energy to really help continue moving people forward in the right direction with something that, matters. And so how you invest in yourself is how you invest in other people. And that matters. So I love that we both got that experience coming into the new year prior to, is actually being able to show up for other people.
Yeah. And I was going to just add to that, like, if your coach is not getting coaching, if they're not elevating, if they're not investing into themselves, I guess I would just question how are they passing,
hierarchy.
like how are they passing things on to you? Like, I feel like I'm learning through the coaching group that I am in. I am learning things and I'm passing that down, not only to maybe somebody that I'm helping, but also to my peers. As I said, like I will share, what I learned this week, or I read this thing, or this stuck out, or this rings in my ear. Like I actually turned on YouTube this morning, and one of the channels I followed, they were reading off their affirmations. Excuse me, sorry. They were reading off their affirmations to start the day. And my coach, just in case anyone's wondering, Donnie Wiggins, I'm in her coaching group in the Actionable CEO, and there's no kickback. This is just like, it's that good that I'm sharing that with you. So if you're looking for a great coach, that's what I would recommend. And she's very fast. She's to the point. That's my speed. But what was I going to say? Oh, she had also at one point, I think in November or December, read off her affirmations, and she went live one day and she posted them on her bathroom wall, and she encouraged the folks that were on the live to write it out on post-it notes as well. And one thing that she actually suggested was that you record yourself saying it, and as you're saying it, you replay that back to yourself daily. And like I said, I opened up YouTube this morning, and somebody that I follow was doing the exact same thing. And I was just listening to their affirmations as I was getting ready for work this morning. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I have that one too. And my affirmations are on my mirror, but that is something that the coach fed into the group, and that the group feeds into themselves, the activity, right? And it feels so good, Giovanni, every time I hear myself talk to me and tell myself that I believe in my ability to figure it out, right? I have found myself stuck or questioning, okay, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? Um, your coach should be elevating themselves, elevating their mindset so that they're feeding the right things into you. And so you can feed the right things into yourself. And obviously, it starts with you feeding into you. You don't really need somebody to feed into you. You got to feed into yourself first. Um, but I think what resonates so much is you talked about entrepreneurship being very challenging. And I would say the first couple of years, it's been very challenging for me to get over my own fears. Um,
That fear, uncertainty, and doubt is real. Go ahead.
yeah, that it's my own fear and like that insecurity that will paralyze you, give you that analysis paralysis. But if you are feeding things to elevate your mindset, the right books, the right positivity, the right you do it in your way. I'm not even going to tell people how to do it. You do it in your own way. You will change how you think. And how you think is what you say, and what you say is what you act out. And those are the things you got to be very, very careful when you're feeding those things to yourself. I appreciate this check-in, Giovanni.
No, you good.
We didn't plan this one. We just said we haven't talked all week. Why don't we just do a check-in? Why don't we just check in with the? I
I
appreciate
think what you said was key, showing up for you first. And a lot of times people are always looking to be validated and accepted by other people, or other people committing to them, without themselves committing to who they are, who they want to be, and having that love for them. So I think you're right. Show up for you first. Know how to talk to you first before you try to regulate how someone else talks to you. How do you talk to yourself? How do you see yourself? Before you ready to tell someone else they're disrespecting you, how have you been disrespecting yourself today? So I think it's really looking yourself in the mirror and saying, hey, I deserve to love myself a little bit more. I deserve to really show up for myself. I have to show people how they should be treating me. I model how I want to be treated. So I think that was a big thing that you said. But going back to the power of affirmations, each week in my coaching program, they get to choose out of 3 affirmations, or they can always pick their own based on the topic that we're covering for that week. And I think what I love the most about my first coaching client is that she puts her affirmations on her mirror in the bathroom. And instead of going to any other bathroom in her house, because she has multiple, she always goes right back to her main bathroom so she can read off her affirmations. And so the power of affirmations is definitely real. It helps you maintain a healthy mindset. It helps you continue to think of your higher self. And it just allows you to really, like you said, talk to yourself in a loving manner. And that way, when you start hearing yourself talk to yourself in a loving manner, you will stop allowing other people to kind of talk to you in other ways that they
Don't talk
should.
to me crazy.
I'm just saying, but sometimes people talk crazy to themselves, and
Yeah,
you have to. Sometimes I check other people when they say certain things about themselves that I don't like, and I'll be like, "Hey,
I do too.
hey,
Yeah.
say that," and it's really them talking to themselves.
Mhm.
But another big thing for my clients that I love is self check-in time. And so they have a alarm that goes off at a certain time every single day, and they are being intentional to do their deep breathing exercises and to really see, where am I with my goals? How am I feeling right now? And what stood out most with my client was on Sunday when we talked about it. She said she was very overwhelmed last week, and she was really showing up for other people, and it was overwhelming. But she said when her alarm went off and they were driving, she pulled off to the side of the road. She was like, I'm sorry, y'all. This is my time for me. She did her deep breathing. She did what she needed to do. And then she was like, whew, all right, y'all ready? And got right back into her day. And that's what it boils down to, is keeping yourself first. No matter what everybody else has going on around you, no matter how other people want you to show up for them, you got to remember that you're your number one priority, and you have to continue to show up for you. So don't put yourself on pause. Make sure you stay number one and stay on top. And then that way, I think that's where you're going to continue to love on yourself the way you should love on yourself, because you're being intentional about being intentional. So I just wanted to add that in when you were talking about affirmations and then self-check-in and definitely showing up for yourself. I'm with you, Hood Hierarchy. You got to start it. Like set a timer on your phone every day at a certain time. It go off. You got to be about you. And you got to just have that hard boundary that it's about you, and you just got to check in with you. Even if it's 30 seconds or even if it's just 1 minute, you get 24 hours out of a day. There's no way that you can't say that you can't make time for you, because everybody gets the same amount of time every single day.
You know what I'll add to that, Giovanni? I have on my other phone an alarm that our coach put into that my coach put into the group that she does, and it's 8:30 p.m. And I actually just set it on this phone because I plug in this phone's usually with me all the time. And at 8:30 is when you express gratitude. And I feel like honestly, when you wake up or you find yourself challenged with something, um, expressing gratitude for what you do have can really center yourself to what you do have so you're not focusing on what you don't have, right? There's a lot of people that don't have. There's a lot of things we don't have, and it'll come when it's supposed to come, if it's supposed to come, right? But when you express gratitude, that is you saying you are thankful for how far you've achieved, for what you have achieved, for who you are. And that gratitude, you projecting that gratitude will give you more to be thankful for, right? So that's that energy that you're putting out. And when you put that type of energy out into the universe, that's the type of energy that's going to come right back to you. So self check-in, important. Gratitude, important. Things to add to help reduce maybe some of the anxiety or reduce where you are and things that might be pressuring, feel pressuring, right? So, feed into yourself with these little tips. Take a little bit of advice from us.
Agree. I think the big thing about gratitude is that simple perspective shift. Like
Girl,
you said,
don't say right
word. Don't give it too much. I was just trying to tap that in for you, okay?
I know, inside joke.
I know it's that perspective shift, because you could be so focused on something that's not going the way you want it to go, or that you don't have control over. And as soon as you start saying what you are grateful for, or it's this thing, and I know they probably get like aggravated with it, but I'll just hit somebody randomly. I just be like, tell me something good.
Yeah.
Just tell me something good. And get over the whole, how are you? How are you feeling? But just tell me something good. And when you start really thinking about good things, whether it's things that happen good to you that day, things that you're just grateful for, it allows you to shift to just being more humble, being more humble with where you are in that moment. And I think sometimes humility can really take you a long way when it comes to feeling that pressure, that anxiety, that overwhelmingness of that you don't have control over every single thing that happens in your life or that's going on. So I'm with you on the gratitude, because it's definitely an attitude that is necessary, to kind of keep putting in your orbit to vibe with,
Giovanni, thank you
Shireen.
so much for checking in. With each other, like with me, with you, with everyone in the audience. That's whether you're following us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for the first time for my audience. Next week, we can only do Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you see our names on the screen. You go to the YouTube channel, then you can catch our lives every Thursday. We do Herbal Tea Thursday. Giovanni, before we close out,
can I say something real quick?
Go ahead and have it.
Like, just go ahead and go to our YouTube and then just hit the notification bell. So you won't miss when we go live in the event that we say, oh man, I had a lot going on and it's Friday, I missed them on Thursday. It'll always still be there. But if you hit that notification bell, once you go to 4 Vibrations 2347 or Black Print Calm on YouTube and hit the notification bell, you won't miss us. And we appreciate y'all continue to vibe with us. Thank y'all for showing up. If it's your first time, man, we love you and we appreciate you. And we hope that you love you and are going to be intentional about being intentional about how you show up for yourself, and you continue to value wellness because your well-being is what keeps you a being day in and day out.
Absolutely. I'm going to roll us out.
Roll us out since you like to lean in, baby.
I'm going to lean in and roll us out with our afterthought. If you started with us or you jumped in late, we start with checking in cards and we end with afterthought cards. we're here every Thursday. And as Giovanni said, tap in on YouTube so you don't miss us. And you can also check out our podcasts and our clips and whatever else we got going on, whatever else we're recording. Because I think at this point, there's so many Instagram channels that we might have. I think I have I'm not even going
Right.
to
Just
have
follow us with
just follow us on YouTube. You won't
all
miss
of
us.
the handles. All the handles are in the description.
Yeah, you
Empire
guys.
Place Empire Lives podcast episodes drop every Wednesday. So just had another episode drop yesterday on fibroids. So every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Empire Place, Empire Lives, all podcast distribution platforms. Again, all of our handles are down below, but every Wednesday you get an episode. Every Thursday you get us live.
Right here, baby, right here. And for me, I'm Voices and Vibes on the podcast tip with a Z. Voices and Vibes with a Z on a podcast tip. And we drop every Tuesday, but this week we didn't drop. Don't kill us. Don't hold us to it. We will drop. We will drop. We will drop. We are up in the studio, getting the studio ready.
Come on, studio.
Come on, studio. I will drop a singular episode. So, and then we'll get more consistent on Instagram with letting the people know what we're talking about, because it's over here. It is on what are we on? We're on YouTube. It is on YouTube. All right. Coolio. So, I can't keep up, girl.
It's okay.
This is so simple.
Okay.
You ready? I don't know if you can see it.
You are worth. I thought we were going to say it together.
Oh, sorry. You are
worth it.
Not in sync.
You are worth it.
You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth pouring that love into you. You are worth pouring that gratitude and expressing that. You are worth checking in with yourself. You are worth checking in with our content. You're worth just being happy and reducing some of that anxiety and reducing whatever it is. We're not even going to put the names to it. You are so worth it. So figure out how you pour love into yourself, right? Whether it's affirmations, whether it's prayer, whether it's acts of service for other people. I know when I'm feeling down, I think about asking somebody else how they are doing, because other people could be in good or bad situations, but that energy might uplift you. Don't be energy vampires or anything like that, but you are worth putting out positive energy out there, and you are worth receiving positive energy. So you are worth it.
You are worth it. You deserve to be healthy, happy, and free. So do whatever it takes to continue to make sure you're number one in your life and that you're valuing your wellness.
Thank you.
Because if we didn't love the wellness, we wouldn't be here for a wellness series every Thursday.
Herbal Thursdays.
To be well.
I love these talks. I love these talks. We're
Friday Eve, baby. Let's close this week out.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I feel like we've already given handles. We've given everything. So
we did. That's how we ended, baby. That's how we ended. We ended it on the closeout. We doing better. Look at us.
Yeah. We're good. So peace. Bye. Click. No.
Love and light, y'all. Be well.
Yeah. Be well. We'll talk soon next Thursday.
Thanks for vibing with us, y'all.
Thank you. And Giovanni, next Thursday, let's have those good vibe lights on behind you, please.
Don't put that pressure there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go.
The vibe is here.
That is there. You got lights everywhere else. Don't come, Shreen. Bye, y'all.
The vibe is here. The good vibe is here. We'll keep it here. We can't have Giovanni coming from the neck. All right. Later, people. Peace.